As you remember, I told you that any three-dimensional object, any solid object that you create is meshed by default. But here is another type of object that I'm going to create. I want to create a surface. So I'll go to Start menu, Shape, Generative Shape Design, and here I want to create a part. Now I want to create a polyline. I can create points on plane, or I can go to plane and select points. For example, I go to YZ plane, sketch environment, and put some points here. Let's select point first. This is here. Selecting point. The other one is here. Select point, and the other one is going to be here. And selecting the point, the fourth one is going to be here. So I exit my workbench. I have 4 points selected. I can select polyline from insert wireframe polyline, and you can see the points can be selected one by one in order. So this is the first point, this is the second point, this is the third point, and the fourth point is going to be here. So by selecting these points, I can create a polyline. Of course, I can do this in another way. So let's cancel this out and delete these points. I can go and select point from here and select a point on plane. And this is exactly the same as what I did previously. I select this plane, for example. This is the first point. I click on point, click on plane. This is the second point. Click on point and plane again. This is the third point, and either way is okay. So you can do this. And again, I can go and select the polyline, select the points in order, and this time I want to select this, 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 and this, and again I have the same polyline I had previously. Okay, let's go to Insert menu and select Surfaces, and I want to extrude this polyline. So I select this polyline, I want to extrude it in X component, and I want to have 20mm in both directions. So I click on OK, and I can see that I have this. Let's open part body and hide the points. I don't want to see them. So I hide points one by one. And at last, I hide the polyline. Now I have the surface, and I do not want to take it into part design environment and add a surface to this, add a thickness to this. I just want to take it into analysis and simulation, generative structural analysis, and here I want to select a static analysis. You can see that I have brought this model manager out of this toolbar so that it is easier to work with, and you can see that I have some problem with my graphic card right here because it is a little hard and a little resource intensive. The first thing I want to do is add some material to this. So I go and apply material. I select metal and, for example, iron, and I click this. So by clicking on OK, you can see that I have applied metal to this. And now I want to add some mesh into this face that I have created. And you can see that this is not meshed by default. You cannot see that green sign inside this part. So I go to Model Manager and select different types of meshing that's available here. You can see that I can have 3-dimensional meshes, I can have 2-dimensional meshes, and I can have 1-dimensional. I can easily guess what their use are. So I select Arc-Tree Triangle Mesher that is used for 2-dimensional meshers, and I click on this. Now you can see that the dialog box opens. I want to select Parabolic. So I click on Parabolic if it is not selected by default, and I click on OK, and I can see that it is there. Now I have a material applied to my part. I have meshed it. Now I can add thickness to this. So again, by going to Model Manager, I can select 3-dimensional property, 2-dimensional property, and 1-dimensional property. Again, you can guess that I am going to select 2-dimensional property. I select it. I select the support. Now you can see that iron is recognized because it is iron, and I can have a thickness of, for example, 5mm. So I click on OK. The thickness is added. Now I can put the pressure on this face and add pressure. You can see that the thickness is 5mm by default. Okay. Now the first thing I want to do is to clamp one side. So I select clamp from restraint, and for example I want to clamp this face. So I click on this, support is this, one face is selected, I click on OK. You can see that this is clamped by default. Okay, and now that I have the clamp, I can put the pressure. Let's rotate this. You can see the clamp on the other side. Now I want to put pressure on this, so I go to loads and put a pressure. I select pressure from here, and again 20 Newton square meter is okay. I want to put the pressure here, and I don't want to have data mapping right now, so if I rotate it again, you can see that pressure is applied to my part. Now that I have pressure, I have let's open a static case. You can see the loads here. You can see the pressure. Double clicking the pressure tells me that one face is selected. I can select the other face and add some other pressures, but I want to have pressures only on this face. So if you want to add other pressures, you can click these and select different types of pressure. Okay, now that I have pressure, I can go and select the storage if I want to change it. And after that, I don't want to change the storage. I just want to go to compute, start computing, clicking on OK, and everything is done exactly as I had previously. You can see this as the pre-estimation of the computer resources that is needed for this. And now that it is done, I can add images. So let's go to images toolset. If I cannot see it, I can go and find it, or I can go to for example, where is the images? I can find it here. I am there. Let's open it by going to view toolbar image. Now I have image here. I can apply this image, for example, another type, and of course I want to have displacement. You can see all of these images, and you can open a static case solution and activate each one of images that you want to see this. So you can see that all images can be activated right now. And the same thing that you did previously, can do it right here.